Yeah, I couldn't tell you what I did this morning.
Same.
No. Not really.
I was like, who woke up first? I don't know. Maybe me. I don't know.
It's all a blur up until this very moment.
It's my improv brain. It's so strong. It's like
It needs to stay right now. Yeah.
it's like when it's like when they had Tom and Jerry fighting, and then somehow Jerry would get some sort of like, he'd hang out with Popeye or something, and he'd have some spinach, and all of a sudden he'd have like huge muscles, and he can do something. That's what I imagine my improv brain is. It's a tiny mouse with huge muscles who like just runs in a treadmill and is like, I got this.
Was there a Tom and Jerry crossover with Popeye? I
don't know.
Oh, okay. I was super excited for
That
this.
sounds
I was like,
Maybe.
I've got to find this.
I mean, probably. I mean, they came out at similar times. I'm not Googling it.
Well, see, like most of my
Established no Google.
I know.
Look it up.
When I was a kid,
Find it.
my cartoons came on VHS tapes from the States, so it was like
Because you were
I
in
was in
Germany.
Germany, so it was like whatever. If it wasn't
So it
on
was
the
like,
base TV, yeah, then it was like. And the only cartoon I remember for some reason on the German over-the-air TV was. Like not Mighty Mouse, there's another Danger Mouse or something, but it was in German. No, it's I think it was an actual like started as a German show, I thought, but so like yeah, we would have to wait for a while until my aunt like sent us like, hey, here are the four episodes of The Simpsons, and so we get to like
Sweet.
binge watch some shows that way, but because it's expensive to ship stuff, but.
Sure.
So,
That'd be great if
I
all
missed
their
out on a
cartoons
bunch
were
of
just
stuff.
knockoffs of America, like Tim and Jari. It's real good show.
And Jari's the cat and Tim's
Yeah.
the mouse.
Can't sue me that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you're talking about the time travel thing. When I was a kid, I used to sit and like look at objects and be like, I know telekinetic abilities haven't really happened yet, but I could be that one.
Yep.
I could be that one. Oh, so much wasted time. I wonder how many times my dad like opened that door and just saw me staring at a cup and was like, fucking kid. Just shut
Either
the
that
door.
or masturbating.
Yeah. You'd be doing worse things.
I did that. I remember sitting with a spoon and just being like, if I, like, there is no spoon, you know, like that bullshit, and just trying to tell myself that I can do it, and like, the only obstacle is not believing. No, it doesn't happen.
It would have been much worse, though, if that thing had moved, you know, or that
That's
spoon
right.
had tilted, you know, it would have been like, oh, fuck.
I can destroy
You don't want to
anything.
know it. You don't want to know.
Oh yeah, it's like the movie Sphere, where they're like, they have all that power, but they can't control it because they're like, they don't know how. You ever seen that movie
I
Sphere?
saw it,
No,
yeah.
and now
with,
I'm very excited to watch it.
Oh, it's a really
goodness.
intense movie. Queen Latifah's in it.
Oh, love that.
Dustin Hoffman, too,
Dustin
right?
Hoffman,
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson, and is it Sharon Stone?
Sharon Stone. Yeah. She had short hair at the time, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and it's based off of the book.
Michael-Crichton, right?
I think so.
Probably. He's written everything that's great.
Yeah, I like how you say his name.
Michael-Crichton. I mean, that's how you have to say it. Michael-Crichton.
You meet him and he's like, hi guys,
Yeah.
listen,
I'm sure
my
he
name's
is.
Michael.
I gotta change everything.
My life is a lie. That's good.
He writes on an iPad, you just hate him a little bit more. What are you doing? I'm writing my next novel. With your thumbs? God damn it.
But it's a good movie. You should check it out.
All right,
I think it's a
great.
good movie. I don't know. I haven't watched. Well, I watched it recently, but I wasn't necessarily the most sober. I watched it.
The most sober?
Not very much so. So I could be off on that, but it was very entertaining and intense.
I remember people renting it a lot at the rental store I worked at. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, renting it a lot.
Yeah.
I thought you said, I misheard you, and I thought you said, I remember people running a lot.
Oh,
And I was
are
like,
people
so
running a lot in the movie?
People just run a lot?
No, I don't think they do, actually.
There's a
hardly at
couple.
all.
It's a lot of swimming because
Yeah.
they're underwater.
Oh, okay.
There's
Sure.
some swimming.
It's like
And
when
a
I
sphere.
try to describe Alias to people, I was like, it's Jennifer Garner running in costumes. And they're
sounds
like,
great.
interesting. You know,
7 seasons, please.
with a little touch of J.J. Abrams, so it doesn't make any sense.
Perfect.
I don't think I've ever watched a single episode of that. This is a sign. Have you?
My mom used to
Yeah.
It's quite
watch
good.
that. She liked it.
I'm a big fan of Lady Spies. Big fan of that, or like a lady-led situation. Like I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was my big deal
Did
thing.
you watch
Alias.
Nikita?
I
Was that
didn't. I get. I even though Alias is very overtly sexual, and like everyone listening to this who's like, you're going to tell me La Femme Nikita is more sexual than Alias, you're wrong. Because like in every single Alias this will get you to watch it. In every single Alias episode, she's like, at least once she's wearing like a negligee. And you're like, how is this helpful to this spy mission? I don't understand. But it distracts quite well.
You're not a spy. You don't get it.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. But I always, whenever there's like a tinge of, when the plot line is based on the idea that it's like this super sexy woman, I'm like, out, no longer interested. If she's not slightly homely or has some sort of issue, I'm not into it. Like, at least with Buffy, it was like, she's super annoying. You're like, great, I'm into this, great, what's about her? Oh, man, every decision she makes makes me want to punch her. But, you know, it was great because I felt that dynamic.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch any show and you're like, when is he ever going to learn? He's not. It's a show, and the whole idea is he won't learn.
Until the series finale.
Right.
Yeah, when it ends, they'll go, oh, I figured it out, and then on end of show.
Like, although, I do want to see that writer who first season is just like, and he is reminded of why he shouldn't do that thing, and, oh shit, I just wrote myself out of a show. Oh, fuck.
It's only one season.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Just that moment of realization that you ruined everything for yourself, and you could have had 8 seasons of
That's where there are 8
runners.
to 10 people in a writer's room who are all like, oh, this resolution here is no good. You know why? Because none of us have jobs next year.
Maybe I'm trying to make a comedic situation for a film or TV show.
Oh, so a
based
guy
on
was
this
like,
premise,
oh,
yeah.
okay. So this guy's writing a live television show. I see how it goes.
No.
7 seasons of
It's one of those.
episode.
It's probably like
Isn't that what 24 was?
Yes.
Isn't that what 24
yeah.
was, right?
24.
It was just 24 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
if I understand the name of the show.
Oh, yeah. It
You're
was.
pretty spot on.
Did I figure it out?
It was like
Yeah, you
eight
got it.
days worth of
Don't
show.
need to
Yeah,
Google.
8
What?
days of show.
Just be called One Day with Kiefer, but whatevs.
He's in a new show now, too. Designated Survivor.
Written by
Right.
Michael-Crichton, it sounds like.
Michael-Crichton presents.
Spoiler alert, he survives. God!
No, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, well, now I know the end. Thanks. Jeez. Why do these shows just give it away?
I know.
I'm not going to write a show just called Spoiler, where at the very beginning they just tell you what happened.
And then you watch it unfold.
And then you're like, that is what happens.
It's 100%.
I knew that was coming.
And they have a follow-up show like The Talking Dead with like a Chris Hardwick kind of person who's all like, the thing is, the whole time I was kind of like, is that going to happen or is that not going to happen? And then it happened. It was so weird. Like every episode.
Oh my god, have you seen the Marilyn Manson episode of The Talking Dead?
Wait,
No.
It's the only one that I watched because I was like, oh, cool, Marilyn Manson. He's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
And he'll probably have some sweet insight because of how like intense and different he is. And apparently even to this day, they still make fun of him for how much of the worst guest he was. Because I was watching it, and he would ramble on, and it was just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just so bad. It was so bad. It turned me off from ever wanting to watch The Talking Dead.
Did he like or dislike the show of Walking
they would
Dead?
No one knows.
They would like come. He just kept talking in circles.
But Daryl, the thing about Daryl is, you're like, what is he saying about Daryl?
He wasn't even in the episode. But it's right after they talk about the episode they just watched, and they have all these different guests that come on, and he just rambled, and it was awful.
I'm going to
It was
watch this
awful.
on YouTube later.
You'll watch it, and it's very cringeworthy. It's very cringeworthy. I'd never watched an episode, and that was the one I watched, and then I never watched an episode again.
Maybe they should have just asked him to written a song about it.
Yeah,
Maybe because
right?
just because a person's great at music doesn't mean they're great at talking.
That's true.
I mean, I've dated enough guys in bands to tell you that. They are not always smart. They are often attractive and very rarely smart.
Manson is like a genius, though, isn't he? Like
He's
an actual,
very, very intelligent.
Yeah, also genius is not really fun to
well,
talk
not
to.
good for social situations. Absolutely.
You think a
Not a
talk show
social
isn't a
genius.
social?
No, yeah, that's
Yeah, hanging out with Chris Hardwick and a couple other people, that's a social situation.
I remember he was pretty vocal after like some of the school shootings happened early on.
He wrote
and
that
that's
line
where
about
everybody.
Columbine.
Yeah, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's not just some dude in makeup singing about weird stuff."
Yeah, but he wrote a letter, which means he could have done drafts, and also
So
there was
many
an
drafts.
editor.
No, when he was on TV too. I remember
So
being on
many
TV because he didn't
Yeah,
have as
with
much
it.
makeup, and I was
And he was
like,
like-
"Oh boy."
The thing about
Oh, that's why he kept looking down.
Yeah.
His notes.
he can memorize. memorize stuff, guys.
No, what?
Half of his job is memorizing.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
he just it had a rhythm. If you listen to him speak, it was like, oh, this is a song.
Pretending to do
Yeah,
an
he's
instrument.
got
as
like
he's-
one earbud in because he's just hearing the backing track he made. You know. I'm sorry, we all have our skills, and
Yeah.
that's his. All right, I can't write songs. I mean, I try constantly, and you have to fix them every time I do.
Oh no, I write songs and they are also terrible, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
I have also tried writing several songs, and I've noticed I'm like, oh, this would be really great if I just said a character of mine wrote it, so then it's not me that wrote it, it's
Right,
the
push-
character.
push it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no, it was my satire, guys. You don't get it.
Yeah.
Always got to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's much easier when you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Because you're all like, oh no, I meant for it to be bad. That's the whole joke.
Anti-comedy comedy.
Anti-comedy.
You ever
That's
heard of
like,
Andy
oh,
Kaufman? You guys.
Jeez, I mean, he just stood there to somebody else's song and pretend to sing it. That's what I do, okay? God. Oh my God, that's so funny. How long have you been here since you moved from Chicago?
July. I moved. I got
So
into
less
town
than a
on
year.
my birthday on July 6th. So
Your birthday's July 6th? So funny, my birthday's July 5th. We're so
Combined
close.
birthday parties.
Oh my goodness!
So fun.
And my husband's birthday is the 9th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Big July party. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese is gonna be so awesome.
How'd you know?
I was like, my baby won't have the ability to eat pizza yet, so let's go.
I'll eat their pizza. It's fine. It's
I'll
fine.
just eat the pizza for him.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if we legitimately like rented a room at Chuck E. Cheese
I feel like we have to.
and
now.
had a party?
I'm for it.
Just all adults in
We-
this one space.
We took my niece, I guess 2 years ago now, and I was having a blast.
Oh, I was hoping, is she a child?
No, she's a child.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, at the time, I think she was like
She's
3,
16.
4. She was.
She didn't like it, but I love it.
I've got a picture on my wall of me from Chuck E. Cheese, just me in a booth by myself, being happy as hell. I'm holding everyone's drinks for no reason.
Just in your hands?
Yeah, because they were doing stuff, so I was holding them. And so I was like, I'm going to take a picture. This is great. Yeah.
Even though you're like
By
at a
yourself.
table, so technically they
No,
could
no,
have
no,
been
it's-
on the table.
I went to the booth with drinks, like a photo booth they had there. I love it.
Oh, a photo.
Yeah.
I
I'm
thought you were just
imagining
sitting
it's just
alone.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
I could
Happy
just
as
see the
hell.
newspaper article, sad man at Chuck E. Cheese drinks a lot.
Mistakenly arrested as a pedophile. Turns out he was there with his family, but they weren't talking to him. So
Oh, all these things are true. So Chicago, huh? What's that like?
Cold, very cold, so cold.
Oh, yeah.
It's the most cold up there. Have you either of you been? I'm assuming you've been, right?
Yeah.
I've only been once during like
Summer.
December and January, so I've only experienced the intense cold.
Perfect. Summer is way better.
That's what I hear. I hear it sells itself real hard in
It
the
does.
summer.
If I only went to Chicago during the summer, I'd be like, this is the greatest place on earth. Maybe. But it's really cool in the summer. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can go to the lake. There's like just so much food there. There's so many diverse cuisines. I've had Ethiopian food that was Michelin star rated. That was just unbelievable. And it's called demera. And the Ethiopian bread is so interesting. It's like, it's not hot. It's like kind of soft and kind of moist, and it almost has like, I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna be like, I'm never gonna eat this, but it almost has like this consistency of like, kind of like cake that got wet. But it sounds terrible. I don't know how else to describe it, because I remember first touching it and I was like, what is this? This is so gross. And they're like, no, that's the bread that you eat. And I was like, all right. And then I tried it, and it was unbelievably delicious.
Sure.
It was absolutely incredible. And it comes, we would get this tray that was for 2 people, and you would have these little piles of veggie or meat, and it was these different flavors. And you would just rip off bread and scoop it up with your hand. You don't have any utensils. Right. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. We went probably 4 or 5 times before we left once we discovered it. Because up in Chicago, too, they have this thing called Spring Rewards, which basically they'll send you things that'll be like, spend $10 and get $5 off at this place or whatever, and